It's just about bedtime. In 5 hours we'll be getting up to head for Miami. And tomorrow morning we'll be flying from Miami to the Yucatan Peninsula and the country of Belize.
That's probably 95 up there. There's Crystal City.
There's the Pentagon. Coming into Miami. And here we are arriving in Belize, where the local time is 12. Here we are at the Belize airport, minus Bev, who's going to be arriving tomorrow at 3. Here's the little bus that's taking us about a 45-minute drive across Savannah to our lunch spot. This is Eduardo.
Balance.
That is a large grasshopper. Here we are at the Belize Zoo. There's a tapir.
They are completely herbivorous. These animals are family of the horse and the rhinoceros. And they're completely herbivorous. They spend at least 50% of their life in the water.
Are they pretty harmless?
There's a wild iguana in a tree.
You can't really see it.
Yeah, he's big right down the end.
Straight
But
through.
I mean, in the picture, you're going to just see
Oh.
green, green,
Oh yeah,
green.
yeah. Where are you
Did you
looking,
see it?
Edward?
Yeah,
What are we
I see
looking
it.
at?
You did.
Same kind of deer that we have in Virginia.
You're right.
Beautiful
Read one of the
heliconia.
magazines we read coming over that.
It's like a robin.
Right, you can come here. Look straight through from here. All right, right from here. Look straight through on that tree. About 4
The
o'clock.
bare branch. It's a little bit lower.
There's a spider monkey in that tree up there.
The big one.
This one is holding a little baby.
Yeah, little baby. Is it?
Yes.
He's looking at me, looking back at him. Lots of mosquitoes around here, really.
Oh, look at this one over here swinging.
This pucka is about the size of a Cocker Spaniel.
It's a medicinal plant.
We saw these in
They make you have bad afternoon.
Trinidad.
The bed one.
You saw the black one?
Yeah. No, they spotted.
Right here.
There's a Quadamundi.
No, it's too pretty. Look at this dormant orange.
Big old toucan, the
Where's the orange?
national bird of Belize.
It's in the middle of the cage.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is a curacao.
Dinner's on his plate.
Movie Rambo is coming
Oh.
out. That's
why
Taught him to pose.
This is Rambo.
Rambo.
Almost looks like his beak is attached to his.
Rambo! And they used to take almost 100 of these cats to make one fur coat.
Oh my God.
Ocelot.
Because they only use the tummy part.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. It took
These peccaries smell so bad. the rooting turns the mud into or the ground into a total quagmire.
These are the stinkers.
I don't know what this flower is, but it's certainly beautiful. Mountain lion.
He's coming. Nora, are you attracting him? He's coming.
Smaller version of the peccary is called a javelina. This is a black howler monkey. The jabiru stork. Small crocodile,
Oh, yes, you do. It looks like a
about
log.
3 feet long. Well, this morning we are headed out on the Pearl Boom Road again to go to the Baboon Sanctuary. Actually, a black howler monkey sanctuary.
Whatever you've invested in it. So that's the way it works here in Belize.
What about today?
The bridge across the Belize River.
I'm not sure what it is. I want tar. What is this?
It's a spiny-tailed iguana.
And this green iguana came.
Oh, he knows where to hide.
In the meantime, he grabs her nose.
Lineated woodpecker looks sort of like a small version of a pileated woodpecker.
It does.
Now it's the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Snail kite.
Sail kite.
What's a
K-I-T.
It's a female snail kite. Female.
Just, oh, wow.
They have a large hook bill which enables them to extract the snail without breaking the shell.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's pretty tough.
This swampy savanna land is typical during the rainy season. Lots and lots of very wet areas.
Would you ever find crocodiles this far in? Or?
Yes, I've seen crocodiles this far in. Northern Jakarta, if you lift its wings, it's gonna have yellow under its
completely
wings.
yellow wings when he flies.
Yeah.
Saw one earlier today.
Way out there on that big.
Walking on the
He
floating
walks on the little
vegetation.
pads. He's got web. Was he got web feet or some kind of little?
Yes. Not quite.
Oh, he's.
Steve, bat.
Like a baseball.
Yeah, they feed on the bats. I see a lot of these birds when we go to Crooked Tree.
Great white egrets. Black howler monkeys just out in the wild.
And I requested that the name be changed, so he changed it to Bermuda Landing.
So they wouldn't. Oh.
We used to tease them because they used to call them baboons.
Oh, yeah.
Because the place is named Baboon Landing.
Yeah.
So they say, well, you must be a baboon.
There's a tropical mockingbird. Main water supply out here is cisterns with water caught off the roof. What is that?
Snake.
Oh, this is the museum at the Baboon Sanctuary, actually the Black Howler Monkey Sanctuary. Heading off down to where the baboons live. There's a small termite nest on the side of a tree.
I don't know what they eat. I don't think they really eat the tree.
We're walking quickly because there's so many mosquitoes here.
Never fail.
They don't like me.
He's upset because we're invading his territory.
Oh, there you are.
Hit right in the
I stepped in the ass.
That's a meal, you know.
three of them up here.
That's a big meal.
These are better.
No, I have the pink meal, have a yellow. Yeah. Have about 50 of them with that mark, you know. Oh, that's a father, 2 kids. You have 4 kids. 3 female and a little male baby. The little baby is just,
Oh, okay.
oh, that's a palm tree. That's a small little prickle, right? Just different. No pipe nuts.
So they just sort of strip the leaves off all these trees,
Yeah.
eating them.
Do they kill the trees after a while?
No, the leaves they just on the
Got to
back.
be careful where we step because there's a stream of biting ants here on the
Right here.
middle of the path.
Oh, right here.
A little tail wrapped around her
Hard
tail.
to see, but yeah.
Watch it, you'll see the cars over. That's
Oh, hello, little baby.
see the little baby
Oh,
on the tail, look.
yeah, now I see. Isn't
See,
that
like a
cute?
little bump on the back.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
right.
Little teeny weeny
Oh,
thing.
wow, that is it's hard to see in the leaves.
The tail's wrapped around her tail.
Yeah, the little baby tail wrap around the mother, you know. Have the tail wrap around
Hanging
the
on
mother.
for dear life.
See?
It's nice that they let us get so close.
Look how you jump with the little baby on the back. Look, watch that, watch. See,
Come
very
on,
good
jump
there, watch.
for us.
Watch how you jump across with the little baby.
Only you're still behind the branch. If you get on a bare one, we could see them better.
I can't
Picky,
find
picky.
them. This is
Yeah,
like
you
the
think
color.
something
Yeah, okay.
like a little
There's
bump.
the baby,
Oh,
only a couple
yeah.
months old on the mother's
Last
back.
This is the
Ah, see you wrap with the little tail, look.
Can the babies eat leaves yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But it never drop on the ground, you know.
They
It
never
never
do.
drop. See, look.
They know how to hang on.
Yeah.
That's a good one,
Enough bite from the mosquito.
Yeah.
too.
We got our money's worth.
But anyhow, you see the whole amount is good.
Nice.
Now see they walk to the side, look.
Got enough ants.
They walk to the side of the bridge. They would never come over this side.
Well, they have their own little path. They probably have their own little scent on the path.
Well, I'm on this side of him.
They cultivate.
Yes, they cross.
Okay.
Commuter traffic.
See how they
It sort of bottles up on this side of the bridge.
Oh, there they're going. There's
see they're all going down in this hole.
Yeah.
See?
Each row seems to be all going one way.
Well, they'll take the leaves and let the leaves rot if they don't
And
need
this is why they bring it out and dump it in their trash pile.
Yes.
It's like a trash dump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the local winery.
Delicious blackberry.
Boy, it's good.
Bottling. We have stopped on the side of the Belize River for some lunch.
I will never believe anything you say. It's a Belize River. I said, why you spell it to the B?
This van is going off to meet Bev at the airport while we stay here and relax for a little while. Smaller van, less gas. Everybody's just kind of wandering around, taking pictures. looking for crocodiles. Beautiful little pond. And a family of monkeys in the tree up there. There's one taking a afternoon siesta in the heat. Another one up here.
There you do that big brown blob.
You see a yellow, you see a yellow chested bird right under the branch.
What's it called?
A trogon.
Put
It's
the,
called a
put the
black
termite's nest in the middle and you'll see it. It'll be in the same field.
From the termite nest, it starts going like this.
Okay.
7.
To 11. To the
I see him. He was under that branch.
Needlefish.
I don't know, but see those needlefish? Maybe that's what he was talking about. They're pretty good length.
Maybe a couple pounds. Tarpons can go up to about 40 pounds. Yeah.
Well, they have finally made it.
At last.
At last, and now we're on the road to Lamanai. We'll go north for quite a ways, and then west and south, and then a long way south on a little dirt road before we get there, about 3 hours from now.
Up in front here. A little farther out.
Snail kite eating a snail.
A snail kite has a snail in his beak. And there's a tropical knot catcher.
Here we are at Crooked Tree Lagoon.
David, do you see this truck behind us trying to get around?
Oh, well, here's the pull-off.
They're scattered across the water. Look at those bushes.
Yeah, somebody behind us.
This is the Northern Lagoon, also known as the Crooked Tree Lagoon. Northern Lagoon or Crooked Tree Lagoon.
Really large. There's a jacana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now he's trying to hide.
Oh, there. Oh, I see. You see it. It's right on the yeah, you're looking right
Oh,
there.
yes, I see the bird now. Long legs. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, beautiful head.
There he goes.
Little iguana right here, about a foot long. There are a lot of bugs here crawling all over the windows. And me. The little pink capsules attached to the twigs just above the waterline there are snail eggs. There's a tropical kingbird.
There's another one there you can get.
Saberwing.
Saberwing.
Saber, yeah.
Emerald saberwing. Nora, you got it? Emerald saberwing.
But it's kind of
I don't know what a goldfish
In our
is.
country,
Snowy
it has
egret.
gold feet and black legs.
Black legs.
This is Lamanai Landing, where we will be coming tomorrow for a trip on the river. Now we've gotten to the dirt road portion. Some highway.
Somebody bit somebody. That's why I remember that. I get a call.
Finally,
got
we're
where
here.
we're going to spend the night.
What a great spot. And this is our house for the night.
Right here.
This is the room. Louvered screen windows. Electricity. Something to keep cool. And a small bath. All the excitement here is because they've just caught a tarantula.
If it drops, then
That's where you went running back to get you.
ignored. Very hard to get
There's a red rump.
Go. Oh, there. Now you got it.
Good job, Nancy. It's enough light to see.
They have some claws, you know, that if you see here, they have some claws where they hold, and that's why sometimes when you try to handle it, it's just, you know, nice and gentle.
Right. Nice.
And we'll tell everybody that you enjoyed it as when it happened.
He has 10 legs, right?
Yeah. And then,
No, really 8 legs and
A lot of noise on your video.
but if you get nervous, then they feel it, and that's why they will just carry to.
You'll hit this thing I just hit. Oh, the spiny. Thought it was a tarantula.
Really, she was holding it.
It's so beautiful.
Really, she was holding
Where did you find this one?
He was over there hunting.
She was intrigued by her mother's ankle.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. They're all over the place. You just never.
And here's a smaller one. What is this little one?
Same one, I
Is
think.
that another red rum?
Yeah, red rum.
See the red rope?
Oh,
Oh,
down
yeah.
the line.
Sorry.
Okay.
Light lady.
Okay.
Shirked her duty there for a minute.
Anybody else?
That is very cool. I don't know what that is.
But
Cutting a sweet lime.
These are very big, actually, aren't they? They look like oranges.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
Here's this lizard.
Jesus Christ.
This is a basilisk.
Why do they call
I've
it
seen
that?
him running.
Because they can run so fast, they run on the surface of the water.
How interesting, like a water spider.
Mosquitoes over here.
That's just a lizard.
There's the big moon, almost full.
It was
There's
already
the big old
high.
toad.
I mean, people eat frog legs, right?
It's early morning before sunup at Lamanai. And the howler monkeys are at work right outside our hut. Can't see much. I don't know where they are. But they're certainly making it noisy. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and we're getting our wake-up call from a black howler monkey. A little morning coffee before heading down to the dock. Put the canoes in the water.
Something over here that made a little noise. What was that?
you might have. George.
And here come Ruth and Nancy.
Y'all are moving too fast. Slow down.
He wants to stop.
No. I can't get to him. I'll wait till you get past.
Isn't this magical?
Yeah, really.
Morning.
And here comes Bev with our guide.
Ruth! Ruth!
We're now going into a little creek on the other side of the lagoon.
Could be, I don't know. What could you do away with the mosquitoes? This is what
It's so beautiful and still. Now that we're a little closer to shore, you can hear the morning birds singing. Wet season, all of this land is normally dry. It is flooded and underwater. Heading back now. And the morning rains are coming. Going back to Lamanai. Back on land and headed up for a little breakfast on the veranda up here.
Goes. This is George
I've got some real nice ones.
and his friend.
She'll play with those guys and she'll come down and play with us. She'll play with those guys.
George, turn around so we can see her face. Hello, baby. Hello.
She'll probably do okay, but I think she needs to settle down if she wants to mature and have young. She needs to settle
Come
down.
and sit here. Be nice. Sit there. Just sit there.
George, turn around.
Real nice.
I never did.
Look at you.
She would have like fingers.
No.
Oh, really? That's neat.
This little cookhouse looks kind of like a Samoan fado. This morning we're leaving Lamanai and taking about a mile walk through the jungle to look at some Mayan ruins nearby. The bus is going on back around the long way to the landing, and after we visit the ruins we're going to be taking a much shorter route down the river. Ruins of an old wall over here.
That's through radiocarbon. But
1500 BC.
1500 BC is the dating for the site. But
Not
what
the
you're
construction.
what you're actually seeing right here is remnants of a Spanish church. The Spaniards came here in the 1500 or the 15th century, I should say, and they tried to convert the Mayan into Christianity.
Remains of an old wall. We split up and half of us are going this way to the ruins of an old sugar mill. And the rest of them are going directly to. And here we are at the old mill. This dates back to 1856. And finally we arrive at the ruins. Big strangler fig here.
Strangler, that's what you call it. Not-
get this in.
This site is largely unexcavated. This little museum is at the site, right on the edge of the lagoon.
Are placed in a chronological order, dating from the oldest vessel. Huh? Dating to date around 100 BC, all the way up to the 14th century. Some animal shape, human shape, star shape, and we also have flints there that could have been used for either weapons or tools at one time. Then we have the Baboon vessel, which here we have some interesting little vessels down in, and we had some which I don't see right now here. Oh, the ones over there. Little vessel which was used for collecting blood. Yeah, the Mayans did what the mercury, right on top of the mercury they found a little vessel. This was inside of that, on top of the mercury.
This little... How magic.
Okay, so over there, it's believed to be of the what we call, what looks like two big pair of binoculars. Them, and up on the top. What they would do with that? They would they would turn it upside down and they would put a leather, yes, or an animal hide in it, and they would tie it to the rim, and then they would hit it as a tom-tom.
Chuck the rain god. And the spikes of the ceiba or kapok tree.
Then down below, it's made from this same nut here, called a Baboon. This was one of the first forms of cooking oil that we had in Belize.
And all of a sudden, here it is.
It's been partly repaired, I guess.
If you know a bit about Mayan features, you're going to find out that the very early Mayans were somewhat of a round, thick-lipped, big noses type of people. They were the Olmec people, and you can see that right here, you know.
All of a sudden you come to a huge steep hill in the middle of the jungle and you realize it's another Mayan temple all covered with vegetation.
Dates back to 100 BC, and it's one of the highest temples that was built during that period of time. Because during that period of time, there were no...
These small steps lead around the backside, not quite as big as the steps that go up the front, heading up toward the top of the temple. Eventually come to a little passageway through to the front. From up here there's an incredible view of the river. And looking down, you can see how high it is. There's the rest of the group. Long way down. And here's yet another one, as yet unexcavated except for an exploratory ditch chopped right through the center.
Because of archaeological excavations, we are able to see all the way where they lived. In other words, this was being filled up with rubble by the Mayans. You can see an example over there, living at this point, and everything was being buried underneath. But because of archaeological excavations, we're able to see all the way down to the bottom. Important data about a site, because this is actually where the people live.
So this was excavated down to the bottom part.
Lowest level.
Oh, yeah, it is. Good for you.
This is the largest one yet we've seen.
100 AD.
This is the temple of the jaguar?
From 700 AD, Temple of the Jaguar.
His eyes and his nose, and you can see the jaguar. This is one of his eyes. This is another of his eyes and his nose. And if you can see his eyes and his nose, you can see the jaguar.
Actually, the nose and the kind of upper lip is very cat-like.
Time to get on the boat and go.
Yeah, mangrove swallow.
Mangrove swallow.
And here we are at our destination.
The band's here. Radio ahead has to say that.
Well, after a long ride on the Western Highway on the bus, we've gotten to the rainforest, the higher lands, and Cha Creek. And here is the cabin where we're staying.
Just fall inside the and drop right over the snake, run and just
They slap with the tail.
yeah, and then I kill the
And it's
snake.
small.
And not
And here's the dining room. And here's the moon coming up over the rainforest. Bromeliads growing all up in the trees. Early morning. It's about 6:30 in the morning. We're waiting for a little nature walk here in the dining room.
Is that she has
There's
more
a
brown,
kiskadee.
reddish color on the wings. The social flycatcher doesn't have that deep rusty brown or red, rusty red.
That looks good through these.
If someone had directed their attention to the woodpecker that's
sitting there right now.
Two little social flycatchers up here with bright yellow breasts.
Well, just look through there, and there's about 3 of them.
Yes, this species here too.
He's holding.
Looking at the sensitive plant here. As soon as you touch it,
this will be harvested now.
it closes up,
This is what
exposing the thorns so it won't get eaten.
orange, red.
Ouch. Beautiful plumeria. And plumosa. The strange seeds on this palm grow right out of the trunk. Bright red leaves that are variegated give this plant its nickname of beefsteak plant. Pretty coral-colored bougainvillea. And I like the bright speckled yellow on these leaves. And here's some all-white bougainvillea. It's easy to see how this got its name, torch ginger. And another species of ginger flowers that look very different. The mottled appearance of the bark on this tree identify it as an allspice tree. The tiny berries provide the spice itself, but even the leaves, if you chew on them, have a wonderful spicy flavor that's sort of peppery and a little bit like cloves. Little sulfur butterfly.
Yeah, ours have slightly different flowers.
Bright vinca. And banana stalks. I'm surprised at the variety of plants that are so similar or identical to the ones that grow in Samoa. Tea plant. And the strange formation of the traveler's palm, growing so that the leaves soak up the maximum amount of sunlight faced east and west. That means the long axis usually faces north and south. Such a brilliant yellow on the leaves of this plant. This inviting little trail leads to the river. Here's an interesting nest in a tree. And we're almost to the river. And here we are. Standing here on the riverbank, I'm looking up at least 30 feet into the tree where debris way up here marks the water level of a flood not long ago. Time to head back for breakfast. Flies flying around. We spent quite a while climbing up to higher altitude where there are lots of pine trees growing here at the Pine Mountain Forest Reserve. We've come down this little road and parked the bus on a edge of a deep gorge to see the 1,000-foot waterfall. It goes down and down and down and down and down, out of sight. Really nice view here, looking out over the valley from the capital city of Belmopan, lost in the haze out there, all the way up the path we followed. Somewhere there through the trees, along the ridges. We've stopped for lunch at the Five Sisters Falls. Five Sisters Lodge sits on the edge of this steep gorge. We're headed down toward the Rio Frio cave. You can see the big opening over there, just around the corner.
A little bigger.
This is huge. It's still hard to get an idea of scale until you see the people, the ones in the cave.
Oh, there's
This
the
is
other
like a
entrance over
huge tunnel. It goes in and in and in, and way over there I see light coming in. And there's the other opening. We're in downtown San Ignacio, waiting to cross the bridge, headed for Xunantunich, Maya ruins. We're boarding this hand-cranked ferry to go across the Copan River and up the hill to Xunantunich. Takes up the cable on one side and lets go out the other side. Pulls us across the river.
current carries it. Not the one I
Xunantunich, 1 mile. Here comes the bus, bringing him up this steep hill. I jogged on ahead because there wasn't enough room for everybody in the bus. stop and pick me up. Yeah. There is that Xunantunich.
I went to the beach and
Well, that's as far as the bus can go. We're going to walk now.
But they really ate me up.
What a view in the back.
Bev's pointing to this tall cahoon tree.
Xunantanich.
Is this when they found it? When was this? You gonna tell us about this place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
The tour guide lecture us, huh?
I'm always curious about how they found
Pictures.
Bright orange millipede.
I think it's a millipede. It's 2 legs per segment is a millipede, 1 leg per segment is a centipede. It's moving so fast I can't see.
This looks like a excavated part of a small mound. That steep slope in the back is leading up to one of the large ones. You can barely see the outline of one of the large pyramids through all the overgrowing vegetation. Small path coming up here, past these small mounds to a big mound, and beyond that, the really tall pyramid. This big pyramid is the second tallest structure in Belize. It's as tall as a 13-story building.
The Mayans, you cannot classify them as doing certain things. They varied a lot, even from...
This frieze near the top of the largest structure was only uncovered in 1950, having been buried by the Mayan people themselves in one of the layers that they reconstructed at the end of each Mayan calendar. On it you can see representations of the moon in this curved part here, and again on the other side over here. The large figure in the center is Chak, the rain god. It's faced toward the east. Here you can see the corbelled arch. It's so characteristic of Mayan architecture. Looking down from the top, you can see the central plaza with the smaller pyramids on each side. Large pyramid in the center, and a smaller temple on the far side of the plaza. The lower rectangles in the foreground there were living quarters, as were these structures partway up the side of the main temple. Cha Creek, where we stayed, is way off in the distance over there toward the east. Seems a long way down from up here. There's Nora headed back toward the plaza.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Move over. No, don't get too far. You start. We'll give Bev a run for her money.
Oh boy.
Off to the west, just a few miles away, is Guatemala. And there to the south is Benque Viejo. There she is. There's this wonderful mask on the west frieze. There's Bev coming down.
No!
We're now in the no man's land between Belize and Guatemala, waiting to see if Bev will be allowed in. Well, here she comes. This hurdle has been passed. Now all we got to do is get across the border. We'll see. Well, now we've gotten through the gate. After about an hour and a half to 2 hour ride, first over unpaved roads and then finally paved roads, we've arrived at the Jungle Lodge at Tikal. As at Cha Creek, there are little bungalows with spaces between them, except this time no thatched roofs. We're staying in this one right here. This very elaborate model of Tikal shows just a little bit of the central part of this city that at its height had somewhere around 200,000 people. Big old black vulture over here. Found something to nibble on. Standing next to a seva tree. Kapok. We've taken a little walk down this dirt road, and as we look back over our shoulders before heading back for dinner, we can see one of the tallest temples of Tikal sticking up out of the jungle. Tomorrow morning we'll be headed over to take a look at the ruins of this huge city. Came across several wild turkeys eating in the grass here. Over here, hiding in the brush, is an agouti. We're entering the first plaza at the very edges of the city of Tikal. Excavated, it looks like this. Here is a unexcavated small pyramid with the steps coming down this side. Old tumbled stele lying on the ground and altars. Really sounds jungly. There's yet another temple, still buried. Archaeologists have found something over 3,000 structures here in this city that used to hold somewhere around 200,000 people. This seems hard to believe, but this is an old plaza here. This is what they all looked like before they were excavated. Every place you see a little mound rising up is another remains of an old structure. After a walk through the jungle up a covered causeway, we finally get to temple number 1, rising maybe 20 stories here. This is the second smallest of the temples. Looks pretty big to me. We're climbing up this road I thought was just going up a hill, but the guide points out that we're actually climbing the sides of a structure. This wall here drops at least 60 or 70 feet to the forest floor. We're on a man-made mountain. This is the Temple of the Masks. You can see the first of them right up here, the face with the sleepy-looking eyes. Temple of the Jaguar in the distance, the Temple of the Masks up close. Unlike other pyramids, the Temple of the Mask was built not in layers, but as one memorial to the queen of a ruler who built this in honor of his wife. Oro Pendula Nest.
2 points. Oh. High above it.
There's the Temple of the Masks from its central plaza. And on the opposite side of the plaza facing it is the Temple of the Jaguars. This gorgeous mask, this, 10 feet tall at least, was one of the layers that was uncovered. Just other temples built up over the top of it. Way back here in the dark, on the other side, the tunnel's been dug, and there's another matching face on the opposite side of the temple. As they climb up the outside of this pyramid, here's an even deeper level with yet another mask.
Look at the black hair.
We did chariots at the front.
Out across the jungle, you can see the coxcombs of other temples sticking up above the canopy of the forest. This is Temple 5 that was left until very recently completely covered.
They were collecting all the silt from rivers, and they were building raised fields and irrigation systems. But it was like a communistic sort of order in which everything was produced for the state and distributed for everyone. The king definitely control all the sharing out. But like it is seen in the history of Tikal when Karakol invaded this region in the early classic. A great king of Tikal, believing that he was a mighty ruler, challenged the great king of Karakol, and their final dispute was over a ball game.
Excavation has just started this year on Temple 5. This is done in joint funding with the Guatemalan government and the Spanish government. Exploratory trenches and tunnels are being dug, looking for the tomb that's thought to be in the middle of this at the bottom. There's a small temple. There's another. 3. 4. And a 5th one, all in a row. By now we've seen so many ruins that I say small temple just casually off the top of my tongue when I'm talking about structures that are about 2 stories tall here. This row of small temples marks one edge of yet another plaza. Fallen stela and altar. Only less than 20% of the buildings in Tikal have been excavated, even as much as this one. 80% still remains covered with jungle. There in the distance are temples 1 and 2. Temple 3, Temple of the Jaguar Priests, and we're standing on Temple 4.
It's high to $80. Why not sell?
Found all of these very large caterpillars all clustered together on the trunk of this tree. Bird standing very still, waiting to catch his dinner. Off through the jungle to yet another site where we're going to watch the sunset from the top of a temple. A little spider monkey up here.
Oh. Oh, that's fun to see him moving.
There go a couple parrots flying across the sky. It's almost sunset. And lots of people are gathered here on the top of this temple. Just to watch. Yeah, let me see what I can do with the automatic light level in this. I'm looking off toward the sunset, and as I tip it up, the forest just kind of fades away.
Yay!
Little fox here.
Camouflage.
Got him.
Stone. There it goes. There. What a little fox. It's not much bigger than a cat. So awesome. Oh, look at this.
It's Tuesday and we're headed back from Tikal
Do it over and over.
to the border of Belize.
Dark.
There's a faint mist all around the mouth of the cave where the cool air meets the warm, moist air of the jungle. To climb down about 50 feet to the opening here.
Are you still living here in Belize? Huh? Oh, okay. But this mode of the underworld.
Yeah, I can see where they get that. Can you imagine coming down here facing your beings?
Well, all I can see are silhouettes.
See the mist.
picture. Oh, very good. Said this cave goes back maybe 3 miles into the mountain. Now we're going down this steep jungle path to some place called the Blue Hole. Well, here it is. Definitely a bluish color. Water coming right out of the cave in this big sinkhole filled with water. Right here by the side of the road, a bunch of leafcutter ants actually cutting little circles of leaves off of this piece right here to take back to their nests. The water only flows a little ways. Comes around a corner and promptly disappears again into a cave.
Beautiful view.
Roofy roof.
Headed for Jaguar Reef.
Definitely some Mayan ruins.
The Mayan. Oh, pretty.
How did you get rid of it?
Tamale is corn and it has like a spice inside and it has chicken.
It's meat in kind of a red sauce.
We have just arrived at Jaguar Reef, which is right on the ocean. This is pretty fabulous.
They're coming back. They've been snorkeling. I didn't go. The water looks rough. Don't know what they did, really. We'll find out.